Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Eberline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course, a lot of care. Hello, everyone. I am excited to introduce you to my awesome guest, Regine Regencia, and I hope I got that right. She is a amazing leader in the space of virtual assistants. And I know what you're thinking, Care Sandwich, law firm owners, but hey guys, she is such an amazing resource for attorneys, for law firm owners, and really business owners in general. And I wanted to bring her on because I know she can give us some amazing tips about work-life balance, about maintaining your quality of life, about taking care of others, and starting with taking care of yourself and making sure you've got your own needs taken care of. So I'm going to go ahead and let you tell the audience a little bit more about yourself, about your company, about your business, and how you do what you do.
Awesome. So yes, thank you so much for having me here, Margarita. And this is actually my first time like being a guest instead of being the the host. So yeah. But thank you so much. And yes, I've been in this industry, like the outsourcing industry, for a decade now. So I started as a call center agent wherein I handled AT&T as one of the services that I work with. And then during pandemic, I became a virtual assistant myself. And during that time, I actually saw the opportunity that we can work with clients globally and we can also provide talents from the Philippines. So I was like, okay, so there's this opportunity. And one good thing that I really love being a virtual assistant is that the clients that I work with, like hearing the positive feedback, like we're doing this and it's changing their lives, I would say. I am confident to say that because what we do is we reclaim 20 to 30 hours of, an entrepreneur's lives weekly. Like everything that you can delegate, any task that you can delegate.
Wait. 20 to 30 hours is what you reclaim.
That's the goal. Yes.
That's big. That's big.
It is.
Congratulations.
Like, anything that perfect. Yes, that's what we do. Like anything that can be delegated or any task that can be done virtually, taking care of your inbox, scheduling appointments for you, making sure that you're only going to be doing, that as the entrepreneur or CEO, you should only be doing the things that only you can do. Because if we're going to, talk about your hourly rate, how much is that compared to a rate of a virtual assistant? So anything, tasks that can be done, that's what we do with the clients that we work with. But we're actually tailoring the needs or the service that we provide to the clients that we work with. If you need help with social media, you need help with marketing, you need help with sales, like doing sales calls for you or appointment setting, those are the kind of tasks that or roles that we do with the clients that I work with. So yeah, it's like
I
a
love
general
that. And if you're an
information
attorney,
about us.
And if you're an attorney and you're listening, I bet you're thinking to yourself, okay, I need all of that, right? So as a CMO, we always encourage people to delegate, always to machines first. There's always a software that you can find to do just about anything. But there are certain things that really do require a human touch. I can think of the example of the inbox. There are so many apps out there that can sort your email for you. You can set up folders. You can do all those things. But if you're like me and like most of the attorneys that I work with, do you really have time? And do you really want to sit down and figure out how to program all of that yourself when you can have another human download what you need and help you do it for you? That just makes a lot more sense. Because I think there's this, I'm going to call it procrastination that happens when I speak with attorneys, and I bet you see this too, where they know they've got to do things and they're so simple. They're simple tasks. And they're like, I'll get to it. And then they don't get to it. And it's almost like never throwing out your garbage, right? Like if it's like one piece of trash that you have to throw out and you don't get to it, no problem. But if you let these things accumulate over time, it can create a lot of stress. And how are you going to serve your clients? How are you going to show up to court on time and make sure that you hit your deadlines when things are not in your calendar? Simple task. Put it in your calendar. And you could have a human do a lot of those things for you. So I've already gotten ahead of myself. Tell us, what are some of the tasks that you, in your professional opinion, believe that most attorneys, because I know you don't specialize in working with attorneys, but you do work with attorneys, that are just easy up off the top of your head, like literally every attorney listening could say, I am doing that myself, and you know what? I can delegate it to a human. Walk us through some of those.
Yeah, so we're new to helping lawyers. Not that new, I would say, because we work with a lawyer for like more than 2 years now. But we did work for him for his other business. So we did a lot of things. But recently, he now hired us for his law firm, which I am really excited because according to him, this is like a differentiator that will make attorneys go to their firm. Like if they have something that they can offer, like a VA that can help them with other tasks, and just just them really doing the tasks that only they can do as an attorney. So tasks that we do is few things is inbox management. So making sure that they're only going to see what are the priorities, or the emails that they should put attention into, and then which one are low priority. So task management, scheduling appointments, which is really, really important for lawyers or attorneys. And then research is something that takes a lot of time.
There's automatic scheduling tools. We all know they're there. We use them, but we still need a human in that space, because what I've experienced, and I know a lot of attorneys experience this too, you can literally tell somebody, here's the link to my calendar, book a time. And they're still going to respond with, when are you available? Like, who writes back? Like, I'm laughing, but like the time adds up. So if you're an attorney and you're booking consultations and you have a link, God bless you. I'm so proud of you as your future CMO. Let me be the first one to tell you that I'm proud of you, and I think you're great and you're ahead of the curve. But even if you have that, you're still going to have people that just don't follow along the process. They don't click the link that you send them. They can't find a space. Or, hey, maybe you're the type of attorney that you want to accommodate at the last minute, maybe additional appointments. Who's the human that's going to follow up with all those leads that have been waiting to get on your calendar for a consultation, and that you were busy, but you opened up extra time, and like in a minute, yes, you can send an automated SMS, email blast, but let's be real. Like, wouldn't it be nice to have a human make some phone calls, click on the link for the person on the phone, and reschedule, accommodate, and do some of that critical thinking that only really humans can do right now, I think.
For sure. We can never be replaced.
So let me ask you this. If I'm an attorney and I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, okay, well, how does this work for me to lean on somebody that's not even physically in my office? Because that's something that I hear about a lot. I know it's becoming more and more of the norm to have virtual offsite people, but walk us through, what does that look like? How could an attorney who's listening to this right now think to themselves, am I really set up for this solution? What are some like checklist items that you would say would set an attorney up for success to leverage this in their business model?
Awesome. That's a great question. And this is something that is also upgrading, like changing the way that we're working with the clients that we work with. It keeps on upgrading. So we have a list of making sure that there will be a success between the clients that we work with and, the VAs that they're hiring from us. If it is being followed, I would say that there's a high chance of making this a success. But it needs to be followed, things like that. So we have a client onboarding. We use a system for task management, like like we understand that you have your own time of working, and sometimes you're also working in the weekends. I think not sometimes, but most of the time. So even if your
Guilty.
VA is not there, there's a system that you just need to input task, put due dates and everything. And once your VA is on, then this person is just going to work on that. And the only difference really is the word virtual. So it's almost the same as hiring somebody in the office, but it's just virtual. So a lot of communication tools are already set up. In SaaS, we do have what we call the level 1 and level 2 communication. So the level 1 is just the regular way of communicating with clients, email or whatever it is, the communication tool that you're using. But level 2 is something that's emergency. Like, I need help with this right now, immediate. I know this is important to you, so I need to contact you. So there's that way of setting those things up for success. So we call our VAs like human reminders. So if there's a need for that, then let's agree that I can call you on WhatsApp. Let's agree that I can message you on iMessage or things like that. I can call you. So it's really like a system that's already in place that just needs to be followed. And we have a long list of, other things that we can definitely talk to the clients that are going to work with us.
What if an attorney is listening and they're saying, you know what, I'm not tech savvy. I don't use project management tools. I don't even use spreadsheets. What would you say to that?
I think it's time to learn. And you don't need, you don't really need to set all of those up. That's the reason why you have the VA. Another thing that I forgot is the other third important thing is really setting up conversations like this with your VA. Like, it could be just once a week team huddle. We call it team huddle, but it's just you and your VA. Once a week, but it would be perfect, especially during onboarding, if it can be done 15 minutes daily, like making sure that your VA has everything. You can just simply say it on the call, like, hey, I need this, I need that. And your VA is the one that's going to set it up on the system. And then the VA will be the one to remind you. So if you want it that way, that can be done as long as you set it up with your VA. But one thing still, I think it's time to learn.
Yeah, no, I
Those
agree
tools,
with you.
right?
And I love your answer to my trick question or my loaded question, because I find that a lot of attorneys limit themselves with this, I'm going to call it mindset or belief that they are not tech savvy, they're not capable, they're not this, they're not that. And I feel like it really does trip them up from a lot of opportunities. If you believe that you were smart enough to go through law school and pass the bar, then I believe for you that you have every single thing that it takes to dominate things like spreadsheets, simple tech tools, apps, things like that. You just have to take a little bit of time. And the way that I see it is you're making this investment in what feels like eating broccoli. I don't like broccoli, right? Because you don't want to do it, but it's just a little sliver. The trade-off is that you're buying back 30 to 40 hours of your time. Like, that to me is exciting. I'm a really big believer in efficiency, automation, using apps, using tools. But hey, even I get overwhelmed sometimes where I'm just like, oh my God, I don't want to learn another new thing. Like, I'm so tired, right? And I get that sentiment, but you have to really look at your situation. And if you're not growing your firm, if you're not getting a lot done because you're making phone calls that somebody else can make, you're sending out emails that can either be automated or that another human, based on your parameters, can put together for you, customize for you to send out. Doing research is another thing that you mentioned that somebody else can do. You want to leverage those resources because that will give you back the time that you really need to do what only you can do, which is show up in court, which is have specific conversations with your clients and potential new customers. Perhaps you're still involved in the retainer model and you are the one that people talk to so that they can retain your firm. If you're 30 to 40 hours tied up with sending out emails and organizing, your digital files when somebody else can do that, that's costing you money. Like, that's, like, when you think of it like that, right?
And I just, since we're talking about tools and not really AI, I would say, just the regular tools that really is set for success, especially for collaboration between teams in your business. I remember this one client wherein we worked with him for more than a year, and from day one, we've already informed the client like, hey, for project or project checking and task inside those projects, we recommend to use this tool. And then for communication, I think it's better if we could use something as well. We've recommended all of those tools like from the very beginning with the virtual assistant that they hired. And you know what? This client did not really agree to that because of the reasons that you just mentioned. Like, I'm not techie. I don't think I really have time for that. I think I'm just good for this and so on. And then what happened was a year later, they hired an operations manager in the US. And you know what? That ops person required them to use the same tool that we have required like a year ago. So it was like,
Right.
okay, which is really needed. Really depends on the
Yeah.
use, but it's a true story.
There, I hope you're enjoying the conversation and your sandwich as much as we are. I want to take a moment to share a few words about our sponsor, Marketing Boss. If you're a law firm owner looking to supercharge your growth, our team at Marketing Boss is here to help. We've got over a decade of experience and a proven track record, and we specialize in growing law firms like yours with data-driven marketing leadership. So if you own a law firm and you're ready to get a predictable, steady flow of cases from your marketing, let's connect at marketing-boss.com.
Yeah, no, I love that. And you know, just to kind of soften the message here, because I feel like we're both kind of beating the point, but if you're an attorney, I want to reassure you that it is possible to take baby steps. So one thing that we do at Marketing Boss when we're teaching law firm owners and their teams about project management for marketing is we tell them, look, we use ClickUp for project management, and we show it to them and they're like, oh my God, my eyes, like, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to click, like too many emails. Okay. Like we test it out, right? Okay. You're not ready for ClickUp yet. Let's start with a spreadsheet. But the spreadsheet has specific fields that are exactly what you would find in ClickUp, like due dates, like task descriptions, like what category of task is it? If it's a social media post, it has check boxes of, do you want it on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram? Like it's formatted just like a project management tool, but it's more digestible because it's a spreadsheet format. So I want to reassure you that it is possible if you work with Marketing Boss or if you work with Regine's agency. I'm sure they also have similar processes where
Yes.
they can ease you in to that sort of, I'm going to call it techie space that's really going to help you take your work to the next level. And again, the goal here is to bring in another human that can take some of those tasks off of your plate so that you can do what only you can do. Leveraging technology is part of that working well. But I want to reassure you that if you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. Okay, yeah, they're right. I'm going to end up having to eat the broccoli anyway eventually. I want to reassure you that it is possible to take baby steps. Is there anything else that you want to share regarding things that you do at your agency to help people take baby steps?
For sure. And that's exactly why with SaaS, it's not just really the virtual staff or the VA that you're hiring. We do have a team of support in the back end that's supporting the client. We have a customer success manager, and we also have an employee relations manager that helps the VA. So both sides are being supported, the client and the VA, which is something that we were not doing like when we started. So we're just letting the client and the VA really work together and then set up everything on their own. This is something that we've learned like recently, that there's supposed to be a support to ensure that there's a success. And yeah, that's something that's really different with SaaS, and you will have all the support that you need. That's one thing that I can tell.
I love it. Tell us what SaaS is. Tell us more about the origin, where it came from, and all of that.
How would I say? It really started just a dream. Because just like I said earlier, I was a call center agent, but during pandemic, I had to give that up. Because you know what? First day of pandemic lockdown here in the Philippines, I learned that I was actually pregnant with my second baby. So I had to stop working. Like first day of the lockdown. Nobody leaves the house.
Wow.
And when I learned that, I was already thinking, how can I support myself and my family? How can I, help provide? So that's when I started like, hey, there's actually virtual assistants. So I just would like to let the clients know. And this is something that Ryan is our US partner, and he's really into knowing the culture of the Philippines. Like his getting value of hiring a VA on a fractional cost, because there is a totally big difference hiring somebody in the US versus here in the Philippines. But
Yes.
another thing to it is you're actually helping Filipinos. You're a big help for all of us. Just like me, I get to enjoy being a mother of two. I get to enjoy being with them, celebrate with them on very important occasions that I don't really have to say, I can't work today because of this and that. That's because I'm already working from home. So that's an advantage. But yeah, going back to my story, that was during pandemic, and I learned that there's VA. And I get connected to a marketing agency actually in the US. That's the first client that I work with. I've been with them for more than 2 years. And I was a business development representative. And it's like one day I woke up and I told my husband, I'd like to be a CEO. That's because I know that there's those clients in the US or all around the globe that's really looking for somebody that's going to work with them.
Yeah.
And what I like about the clients that I work with is you're all very appreciative.
Yeah.
I love to work with, clients that appreciates what I do and gives feedback and trains me. And I was like, okay, I'm totally part of your business. They do not let me feel as if I am, well, really is like how many miles we're far away together. But I feel like I'm really part of the business, and they always give positive feedback. And I'm like, okay, I want to be a CEO. That's because I know there's clients that's looking for talent, and at the same time, I know my Filipino or the colleagues that I work with, they're better than me. They have talent, they're skilled. It's just that they don't have this opportunity to really work with clients in the US. So that's where everything started during pandemic, and we get connected with Ryan. Ryan is part of the first batch of clients that I work with. And then when he saw everything that we're doing, he actually started with just one virtual staff. That's his executive assistant. That was 3 years ago. And they're still working together. And from one VA, he now has a team of it's now growing to 8 virtual staff for Ryan.
Wow.
That's because Ryan has another
amazing.
business as well. It is. And those virtual staff actually has different roles for his business. Some of them are helping with sales. Some are for social media. He also hired a customer service, representative. And that's how we grow. That's how we actually started. So, yeah.
So I'm going to give you some flowers, figuratively speaking, because I work with a lot of companies all over the US, law firms mostly, and it's put me in a position where I've worked with a lot of virtual staffing agencies, and I've worked with a lot, in my role as a CMO, I manage teams and things like that. And I was very impressed by your company. I pick up on things that people don't say that are implied. For example, the energy of, hey, I'm here to listen. I'm here to accommodate. I'm here to customize a solution for you. That was the vibe that I've got. Because I had a lot of choices of different companies to work with, some really big, popular that spend a lot on advertising, where the contrast was with other companies, because I interviewed a lot of companies before, deciding to work with you all, is, oh, well, they wanted to walk in and tell me what I needed without asking me first how I felt about my business, without even understanding my business. Like, they just came in with a lot of know-it-all assumptions about who my company was, what I really needed, and they were here to tell me that what I thought I needed was wrong. And I'm open, because maybe it was, right? But without even first asking me about my business, without really knowing, what does a CMO firm even do? And what do you really have going on in your operation? So that was one of the things that reassured me that you have a lot of expertise when it comes to setting people up for success. So I'm so glad that I was able to have you as a guest today. And I hope that if you're listening and you're, again, you're an attorney and you're thinking, I've never done this before, how is this going to work? I hope that something that we said today maybe inspired your interest and you can get in touch, how can people get in touch with you? What is the best way for people to connect if they are listening and thinking, okay, maybe I need to explore this? By the way, no high pressure sales. Just get in touch, ask questions, and explore. So how can people get in touch with you?
We're all over social media. We also have our website. But if you want my email, I think we can also give it. That's the easiest one, my email address. But whatever social media platforms you're going to message us, you'll be able to connect directly to me. That's one thing as well with SaaS. I think if you're going to ask me, really, one thing that I love doing as the CEO, though I'm the CEO, I also learned to delegate tasks. I am still learning for sure because as we know, delegation is an art. So day-to-day thing for a CEO is really learning to have, a success in delegation. But what I love doing, that one thing that I do not want to be removed in what I'm doing is really discovery calls, like talking to clients, just like what you said, really knowing what their needs are, their goals are, and to set up something that's really is going to be for you, only for you and your VA. So that's really is my goal. I'd love to talk to, and just like what I said earlier, Margarita, with what you said, we've only known each other for like weeks already through Armando, which is really awesome. And
we crossed paths a little longer than that, but yeah, I think we started really a dialogue most recently.
Yeah, for sure. And what you've said is something that really is my one thing, one of my whys, why I love working with you guys, because you're always appreciative. And it sparks everything in my heart. That's just really me. I love talking to clients and setting up everything for success, because it's not just the VA that you're hiring, it's me and the whole team of SaaS. So yeah.
I love it. And the culture that you've built. So I have one more obligatory question that I've got to ask you, because I ask every single guest, and I know we've already gone way over time. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
What is your favorite sandwich? Because it is the Care Sandwich podcast.
Oh yeah, anything with cheese. I love cheese. So if a sandwich doesn't have a cheese, I don't think I can finish eating that. Anything with cheese,
I like it. That's awesome. So grilled cheese, anything with cheese. I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for being such an amazing guest. If you all want to get in touch with her, once again, you can go to the web, and you can also go to your favorite social media platform, and you can expect to connect, have a conversation, and figure out if this is something that can help you scale your law firm, grow your business, and be even more awesome and help more people. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you on the next episode of The Care Sandwich.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing, and I'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.